Hello everyone, welcome to This Day. It is Friday, April 3rd. I'm Michael Taylor. Good to be here with you on a Friday. Hope you're having a great week. Hope you're going to have a great weekend. Easter weekend, it's coming up. Here we go. The eggs are going to be hidden. Are you having the grandkids over? Hope you're having a fun one. We got some fun stuff for you today on the show. On our program today, we're going to be welcoming folks from Heritage Point. Georgiana Mendez and Heather Ezel are going to be talking about Heritage Point, whether it's right for some folks in the community to be living there and what they have to offer. Then later in the program, Cole Young, Sports Corner. Even though it's April, I feel like we're still talking a little March Madness on this week and some other stuff as well. So we'll be talking to Cole a little later in the program as well with Sports Corner. Right now, though, it's Easter coming up, and we got the Equestrian Egg Center's Extravaganza coming up on Saturday, April 4th. It's going to be from 9 a.m. to noon. Now, you don't have to register. You don't have to do anything. It's open, free admission, face painting, balloon artists, complimentary lemonade, coffee, all sorts of fun. Parking is available in the upper maintenance lot of Via Campo Verde, and shuttles are going to be taking people to and from. So bring the grandkids, have fun, pick up the Easter eggs. It should be great. Look at the times on the screen, though. So the 10 a.m. for the younger kids, then 10:30 for a little bit older, 7 to 10 is going to be at 11 a.m., and bring your own Easter baskets, but they're providing the fun and the eggs, so it should be a fun one for everybody. Let's take a check of our weather, and you know what? It's going to be kind of nice on Easter Saturday over at the stables for them, as well as Easter Sunday. We're going to have some warm-up going on here. Today, we're going to start the beginning of what's a Santa Ana as high pressure kind of moves in. Saturday is going to be our peak temperature of 81 degrees, and then on Sunday, on Easter Sunday, we've got 80 degrees. There you go. Then we start a little bit of a cool-off as we enter the next week. Monday is going to be 73, as well as Tuesday. Let's take a look at our sunrise, sunset while we're at it. Got a beautiful picture here from Veterans Park in Lake Forest. Thank you very much, Judy Blando, for sending this picture in. Look at the duck out there enjoying the fountains. Sunrise this morning was 6:35. Sunset tonight is going to be 7:13. If you have a picture you'd like to send us, we'd love to see it. Go ahead and email that picture to us. Laguna Woods Village TV at gmail.com is the email address for pictures. Make sure you include your name like Judy did and where you took the picture, and we will use it in our sunrise sunset segment. Okay, a couple of meetings to tell you about. Then when we come back, we'll be talking to the folks from Heritage Point. Stay with us.
For some places, care is a service. At Heritage Point, it's a commitment. Located in Mission Viejo, Heritage Point offers an environment where residents feel known. This is where community thrives. Visit our website or give us a call to schedule your visit today.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Do you know what the advantages might be to move into an assisted living community? Well, here to tell us from Heritage Point, welcome Georgiana, otherwise known as Georgie Mendez, and Heather Ezel. Pronounce that correctly?
Ezel.
Ezel.
Yes.
That's much more pretty than I said. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you.
It's your first time here at the studio. Welcome again. Let's talk about Heritage Point. I personally don't know anything about it, and maybe our viewers don't either, so we'll just dive right on in. Tell us, what are some of the advantages of living in an assisted living community?
I think the most important advantage of living in an assisted living community is the socialization aspect.
Yes.
So residents make friends easily. We have a very warm, welcoming group of residents that currently live there. We have a welcoming committee. We have activities. So when a new resident moves in, they're quickly acclimated and introduced to fellow residents so that they can, eat dinner together, eat lunch together, play bingo, and join a variety of activities that are offered every day there.
So much like Laguna Woods Village, where they've got a lot of opportunities to make friends, to get out there and socialize, whether it's sports or dinners or theater or concerts. So that's really important to keep that friendship going, right?
Right, that socialization part is really important. There's also the peace of mind, the safety that we have there, because we have 24/7 staffing. Okay. So we have caregivers and medication technicians, that provide and monitor and provide the medication to the residents. So that's a big part of it too, is the safety. They're also assisted with their activities of daily living. So they're assisted with showers and escorting, transfers, and any other, medical DME equipment that we can help them navigate through the community with.
Right. So they don't really feel isolated, right? Because they
No.
know that someone's looking after them and,
Right.
and after their needs.
Yeah.
And it's, because a lot of times I've seen and I've heard that when you're kind of by yourself, the more you're by yourself, the more you're by yourself, right?
Right.
You sort of recluse inward,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
And the longer that you stay within your own confines, an apartment, or you just sort of lose touch with the outside world. So at Heritage Point, people are constantly coming and going, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
assisting those residents who are living there. So if somebody does decide to move in to Heritage Point, Heather, what's the move-in process like? Can you walk us through that?
Of course. So the move-in process is you're going to hopefully reach out to Heritage Point, and you're going to set up an appointment to schedule a tour. So you'll come in, whether it's the resident or the prospect themselves or with their family. Mm-hmm. They'll come in, and our sales department will take them around the community. They'll show them the activities and where our dining room is, and just kind of give them a layout of what Heritage Point has to offer. At that point, they will hopefully pick an apartment. And then the financial piece of it goes into place to secure the apartment. And then we will have the resident reach out to their primary care physician, because they'll need a physician, like a physician assessment. Okay. And that's going to let us know what we can help the resident with and fulfill kind of like what their medical necessities are. Even though we're not a medical community, we're a socialization, we're a social model. But as far as like if they have any DME, if they have oxygen, things like that. Okay. And so once that happens, then you have move-in day. And then furniture's moved in, the residents moved in, the welcoming committee is scheduled. I go in there personally to give them their emergency pendant that they have, that they'll need to wear around the community. And then after that, you kind of settle in. We'll do an assessment to see if there's any changes that have been made or need to be made or updated. And then we do a lot of reach out to the family with updates as far as how mom and dad are doing, making sure they're getting into activities, and making sure they're meeting all of the other residents, because that is really one of the most important things that we need for our seniors.
Right.
Is continue to socialize.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
So a little bit of an interruption in life while you're getting settled in, and then you're just going to fire right back up,
right? Exactly. Exactly.
Now, Georgette, how long have you been working at Heritage Point?
So I was there in 22, retired in 24, but returned in 25 per the board request. So I'm happy to be back. It was one of those positions in my career where I definitely regretted retiring. I really do enjoy working there. I have a great staff, and the residents are all great. So I'm very thankful to be back.
Fantastic. What about you, Heather? What's your history with Heritage?
I will be there 4 years in April. So I've loved every minute. I started there kind of the height of COVID, and I started at the front desk. And that's when I realized like my love for seniors. I had a very close relationship with my grandmother, and so I fell in love with them, and I haven't left.
Now you have a whole community.
I have 100 plus.
That's fantastic. That sort of brings me to my next question is, you form these bonds and these relationships, right, between staff and community, and that really does turn into a true friendship a lot of the time.
Yes.
If somebody does become really good friends with staff members at Heritage Point, is there a turnover of staff? I mean, is there a large turnover of staff, or is it pretty consistent?
There is not a large turnover of staff. We have staff members like Heather who have been there for 4 years, and then we have med techs that have been there 20 plus years.
Wow.
So there really isn't a large turnover there. Of course, there is turnover, but not a large percentage. We try to keep everyone set up for success, all the employees, and engaged in their jobs so that they feel like they're doing a good job, and then, of course, pass that on to the resident. But you're right, there are relationships there. There's no doubt about it.
Right,
Residents come to have their favorite employee. So, yeah.
You sort of form that bond, right?
Right.
Right.
It's nothing that you sort of set out to do. It just naturally
It just
happens.
naturally, it's so organic.
Yeah, exactly.
You're working with them daily, you're meeting their families, you're getting, close to their families. And so it's definitely an organic relationship that is built.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything exciting happening in the near future there at Heritage?
So we're in the middle of beginning our Passover season. So that is definitely a big week-long celebration of different events and dinner and things like that. So that's the more recent one that we're coming up with.
Fantastic. Is there a waiting list if somebody wanted to move in, quickly, or what's that process like? Is it a month out, 2 months out, 3 months out, or do you ever know?
We do not have a wait list at this time. It depends on the size of the apartment that they want, though. So we're out of 2 bedrooms. We're almost out of studios, but we do have 1-bedroom apartments available.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah. And I'm super excited to say about what's new at Heritage Point. We just have our pizza oven that was installed.
Oh, I'll be right over.
So, the pizza oven
that's
is
going to be a hit.
Yeah, off to a good start. Yeah, huge. It's huge over there right now. So, yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. There's
Yeah.
nothing better than a hot, bubbly, crusted pizza coming out of
Right?
that pizza oven.
Exactly.
Ladies, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate you being here and all the information on Heritage Point.
Thank you for having us.
having
Thank you.
us.
Thank you. You're watching This Day on Village TV. We'll be back after these messages.
Welcome to Manor Alterations. Planning a home improvement project? Here are answers to some common questions. Before beginning any project, please contact Manor Alterations for guidance. All projects require mutual approval, so be sure to submit a mutual consent application prior to starting any work. Work may begin only after all required approvals have been received. A mutual consent is the mutual's approval for alterations to your manor. It confirms that the project complies with mutual standards and community rules. Many types of alterations require mutual consent approval. Examples include air conditioning installation, window or door replacement, carport storage cabinets, kitchen or bathroom remodels. Visit the Manor Alterations office with your contractor. Download forms on our website or request documents by phone or email. Additional documents may include existing and proposed floor plans, site plans or construction drawings, product specifications or engineering documents. Your contractor can assist you in preparing the required documents. Remember, the full scope of work in the application must match the plans. A building permit is an official document required by the City of Laguna Woods Building Department to verify that all requested changes conform with the current California building codes. You may hire a contractor of your choice. All contractors and subcontractors must be properly licensed and insured. A certificate of liability insurance, COLI, is required. Work valued at $1,000 or less may be performed by a handyman. A certificate of liability insurance is still required. Questions? The Manor Alterations team is here to help.
Hello and welcome to the first episode of Sports Corner for the month of April. I'm Cole Young, and while it is officially April, we still have March Madness to discuss, so this episode is dedicated entirely to the tournament recap and a preview of the madness to come this weekend. We're officially down to the Final Four for both men's and women's NCAA tournaments. I figured I would give a brief recap of how all these teams got to where they are now, and preview the Final Four matchups of the weekend. Starting in the women's bracket, the final four remaining teams are the four number one seeds: UConn, UCLA, South Carolina, and Texas. I don't like to gloat, but I do have to take a moment to appreciate that I correctly predicted all four of these teams. UConn made it to this point by being the most dominant team in the bracket by far. They entered their tournament run with a perfect 34-0 record and 50 consecutive wins dating back to last season. In the first round, Sarah Strong had 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 5 steals in just 3 quarters as the top-seeded Huskies rolled to a 90-52 win over number 16 UTSA for its 51st consecutive victory. In round 2, Ozzie Fudd matched her career high with 34 points and 8 three-pointers to lead UConn to a 98-45 victory over Syracuse to send the Huskies to the regionals for the 32nd consecutive time. That brings us to the Sweet 16, where UConn would face their toughest task yet, number 4, North Carolina. Sarah Strong, this time facing her home team, had 21 points and 10 rebounds as the defending champion Huskies won 63-42, sending UConn to the Elite Eight for the 30th time to face Notre Dame. Strong yet again put on a show, scoring 21 points as UConn defeated Notre Dame 70-52 for their 54th consecutive win and their 25th Final Four appearance in history. They won all 4 games to this point by an average margin of 32, which is just absurd. They'll be going for the 13th national championship, but in their way stands the University of South Carolina. South Carolina has had their fair share of dominant wins throughout this tournament as well. Joyce Edwards had 27 points and 8 rebounds, and South Carolina won its 17th straight home women's NCAA tournament game with a 103-34 defeat of the 16th seed Southern, their biggest margin of victory in their NCAA tournament history. The beatdowns didn't stop there, though. Joyce Edwards had 23 points and 10 rebounds. Medina Okot added her 22nd double-double of the season with 15 points and 15 rebounds. And South Carolina advanced to its 12th straight Sweet 16 with a 101-61 victory over number 9 seed USC. In that matchup, Tanaya Latson scored 28 points and Raven Johnson added 18 to help top-seeded South Carolina beat 4 seed Oklahoma 94-68 on Saturday and advance to the Elite Eight. That's where Joyce Edwards scored 24 points to help South Carolina beat TCU 78-52 and advance to the Final Four matchup with UConn. That game will tip off today at 4 and can be seen on ESPN. On the other side of the bracket, Texas has proven that they too are a legitimate championship contender. Jordan Lee scored 19 points and the Longhorns opened the tournament with an 87-45 romp over Missouri State, building a 32-point lead by halftime. Madison Booker led the way in round 2, scoring 40 points as Texas breezed past Oregon 100-58. Rory Harmon then finished with 11 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds, and 6 steals in a 76-54 Sweet 16 win over Southeastern Conference rival Kentucky. That brings us to the Elite Eight, where Madison Booker had 19 points and 7 rebounds, Rory Harmon had 13 assists, and Texas punched their ticket to the women's Final Four for the second year in a row after a 77-41 rout over Michigan. Now, Texas advances to face local UCLA with a spot in the national title game on the line. Remember a few weeks ago I said all 4 number 1 seeds are very, very good? Well, based on all the scores I've read so far, that seems to hold true. And UCLA is no different. In round 1, the top-seeded Bruins were led by Lauren Betts with 22 points and 10 rebounds as UCLA dominated Cal Baptist 96-43. In round 2, UCLA led all game long and eliminated number 8 Oklahoma State 87-68 to reach the Sweet 16 for their 4th consecutive year. Led by Kiki Rice's 21 points and a 16-point 5-block performance by Lauren Betts, the Bruins advanced the Elite 8 for the 2nd year in a row with an 80-56 win over Minnesota. In that Elite 8 matchup with Duke, UCLA actually trailed at halftime and had to rally from behind to overcome a deficit. Betts had 23 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 blocks to help UCLA rally and beat Duke 70-58 on Sunday, advancing to the women's Final Four for the 2nd straight season. Now, as I mentioned, UCLA will face Texas tonight and compete for a spot in the championship game. This game tips off at 6:30 p.m., also on ESPN. Both games will decide which final 2 teams will advance to the national championship game, which will be held on Sunday, April 5th. The men's championship game will be on Monday, April 6th. The men's bracket is a lot less clear-cut, and the final 4 remaining teams have battled to get to this point. UConn has the opportunity to hoist 2 national titles next week, as the men's team has also found themselves in the Final Four. The Huskies opened the men's tournament narrowly avoiding a dramatic upset. Terrace Reed Jr. scored 31 points and 27 rebounds, the kind of stat line not seen in the NCAA tournament in nearly 60 years, that saved UConn and led them to an 82-71 win over Furman. They bounced back with a stronger performance in round 2, though, when Alex Karaban scored a career-high 27 points, helping send the 2nd-seeded Huskies back to the Sweet 16 with a 73-57 win over UCLA. In the Sweet 16, they yet again were facing elimination. This time, Terrace Reed Jr. scored 20 points, Karaban added 17, and both made crucial free throws in the final minute that helped UConn hold off 3rd-seeded Michigan State 67-63. While this game was close, nothing could top the Elite 8 game against top-ranked Duke. This game will go down as one of the all-time classic games in March Madness history. Duke led 44-25 late in the first half and 44-29 at the break, and things looked bleak for UConn. In the blink of an eye, with just 10 seconds remaining in the game, Blue Devils suddenly only led by 3. UConn's Silas DeMary Jr. made free throws with 10 seconds left to cut the lead to just 1 point. With such little time remaining, though, all Duke needed to do was run out the clock and they would be heading to the Final Four. But it is March Madness, so nothing ever plays out how it's supposed to. Duke's Caden Boozer attempted a pass near midcourt with the clock ticking, but the pass was deflected by DeMary, and after UConn came up with the ball, Braylon Mullins swished a 3 from 35 feet away to pull off the most impossible comeback and send UConn to the Final Four. Duke's 19-point lead is now the largest halftime lead in tournament history, blown by a number 1 seed. Like I said earlier, this will go down as one of the best moments in tournament history. The Huskies are looking to secure a national title for the 3rd time in 4 years, a feat that hasn't happened since UCLA did it in the 1970s. UConn now faces 3rd-seeded Illinois in the Final Four matchup. Illinois has probably been the most surprising team so far in this tournament, although their victories say otherwise. The Fighting Illini started the tournament with a dominant 105-70 win over Penn. That win was followed by Andrei Stojakovic scoring 21 points as Illinois beat 11-seeded VCU 76-55 on Saturday to advance to the Sweet 16 for the 2nd time in 3 years. Then, David Mirkovich had 14 points and 10 rebounds, and 3rd-seeded Illinois eliminated last year's national title runner-up, beating Houston 65-55 to advance the Elite 8. There, they would face off with the underdogs from Iowa. Freshman Keaton Wagler scored 25 points, and Illinois ended Iowa's run by beating the Hawkeyes 71-59, earning their spot in the Final Four for the first time in 21 years. Now, Illinois and UConn will fight for their spot in the championship game, and that game will begin tomorrow at 3 p.m. on TBS. They will face the winner of the Final Four matchup of 2 top-ranked teams, Arizona and Michigan. The University of Arizona entered this tournament as the favorites to win it all, and they're just 2 wins away from accomplishing that feat. Braden Burries hit 4 3-pointers while scoring 18 points. Koa Pete added 15 points, and Arizona opened its NCAA tournament run with a 92-58 win over Long Island. Jaden Bradley then scored 12 of his 18 points in the second half of their second-round game, and Arizona beat 9-seeded Utah State 78-66 to advance to the Sweet 16 for the 4th time in 5 years. There, Arizona scored virtually at will. The The Wildcats shot 63.8% from the floor, the best in the Sweet 16 since 2005, and Arizona topped Arkansas 109-88. In their way of their first Final Four appearance in 25 years stood number 2 Purdue. Freshman Koa Pete scored 20 points, and Arizona's defense bottled up Purdue in the second half to give the Wildcats a 79-64 win. Now, for their toughest task of the tournament, Arizona must face off with Michigan with a championship appearance on the line. Michigan has dominated to this point, scoring 90 points or more in every round. In round 1, Morez Johnson Jr. had 21 points and 10 rebounds on a perfect shooting night, and number 1 seed Michigan earned a 101-81 victory over 16 seed Howard. They kept it rolling in round 2, and Yaxel Lendeborg had a 25-point outing, and Michigan advanced the Sweet 16 with a 95-72 win over St. Louis. There, Lendeborg did it again, putting up 23 points, 12 rebounds, and 7 assists, helping the Wolverines beat Alabama 90-77 to advance the Elite Eight for the first time in 5 years. This win set a school record for Michigan, as this was their 34th victory of the season. Next up was 6th seed Tennessee. Michigan cruised right past the Volunteers when Lendeborg yet again led the way with 27 points, and the Wolverines pulled out the 95-62 victory to roll into the Final Four for the first time since 2018. Now, 2 number 1 seeds will square off with a spot in the national title game on the line when Michigan faces Arizona. That Final Four game will begin tomorrow at 5:40 p.m., also on TBS. Since we are down to just 4 teams for both the men's and women's brackets, I figured it's time to make my predictions. For the women, I believe it will be a UConn and Texas national championship game, and I've been saying this for weeks, but UConn will be national champions yet again. For the men, I think UConn will also advance, as well as Michigan. But I think Michigan is too dominant to overcome. They will be the champs this time around. That was a lot of March Madness talk, so be sure to tune in to all of the remaining games today and tomorrow to see which teams will make a run at a national title in just a few days. So, with all of that said, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Sports Corner. Be sure to come back next Friday to see which teams have become national champions. I'm Cole Young. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next time.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's talk about our Friday and Saturday movie. We've got some interesting ones lined up for you. Today, we're going to have a documentary. It is called The Flat. It came out in 2011. Brought to us by RadNet. Going to be at 2 p.m. with the subtitles and 6 p.m. without the subtitles. A documentarian cleans out the flat that belonged to his grandparents, both immigrants from Nazi Germany, uncovers clues pointing to a complicated, shocking story. So that kind of may be a very interesting documentary for today. And then tomorrow, a little bit of lighter fare. We have Two for the Money, starring Al Pacino and Matthew McConaughey. It's brought to us by Advanced Ear Care. It's going to be at 2 p.m. with the subtitles and 6 p.m. without. After suffering a career-ending knee injury, a former college football star aligns himself with one of the most renowned scouts in the sports gambling business. Should be a fun one for Saturday. If you're not going to watch movies, let's get out and enjoy the weather because we got some wonderful temperatures for you as well. Today we're going to be moving up. Santa Ana's kind of moved in, so we're going to have some high pressure, and that's also going to bring with it some warmer temperatures as usual with those Santa Anas. So 79 degrees today, 81 on Saturday. Then Sunday, Easter Sunday, 80 degrees. A beautiful day for picnics and brunches and all sorts of stuff, so that should be great. Then we got some cooler temperatures coming for the work week as we begin Monday and Tuesday in the low 70s. Tomorrow on the program, we're going to have the City of Laguna Woods Mayor Annie Ruth McCary going to be here, and I'll be here as well, but Bree's going to do that interview, so there you go. That's going to do it for this edition of This Day. I'm Michael Taylor. For all of us here at Village Television, we hope you make this day a great one.